Bonjour mes amis, hi guys. New year, new releases. So I thought I would take a look at some of the latest releases. It does feel like we are at the end of a very strong cycle that started in 2018 and kind of ended in 2023. The market was very strong, washed with money, so a lot of new models came out. A lot of people bought a lot of watches. Independents could get their projects off the ground. And yeah, everything really kicked off with the Rolex Pepsi, the Tudor Pepsi, and the Tudor Black Bay 58. And every other brand had to have their GMT. And also the renewed interest for the integrated steel sports. Well done on the part of the outgoing CEO of Audemars Piguet for putting the Royal Oak back on the map, and everybody wanted to have their Royal Oak. And we're coming a bit to the end of all that. Last year, the releases were a bit underwhelming from the big brands. There was a bit of a cutback, and probably it's a reaction to the fact that retailers are having a difficult time moving product, especially since retail prices have gone so high. So a lot of stocks available and a big slowdown in the product cycles, the production, and that's going to affect as well the suppliers of parts. So yeah, probably a rough time ahead for the Swiss industry. We've all heard about the slowdown, but it's compared to the very strong years that we've had, 2022, 2021. So let's see a bit this year. In my view, I think brands have to come up with new designs rather than just a different dial color and more reissues of old favorites. That's probably going to be the key to create urgency and demand, because there are still here and there some very good releases. Often it's from smaller brand, new brands, macro brands, some designer efforts leaning into brutalist designs, but that's really geared towards enthusiasts, and it's a low volume production. The Swiss industry needs a big volume, a lot of moon swatches and whatnot, and that too is coming a bit to an end after the craziness of the moon swatch and the relative interest into the scuba line of watches from the Swatch Group. There were some great releases last year. Let's not forget Omega with the white dial Speedy. Yes, it's not a new model, but it's a new dial. It's a fantastic watch, and how much better can that get? But that's a big seller. It's a flagship type of a watch, and every brand is going to need strong flagships and renew some of the model lines. So yeah, we're looking forward to see what will come through this year at Watches and Wonders. The Swatch Group release outside of that cycle. So all through the year they will come up with things. We've seen more Speedmasters recently. Some hits, some misses. Maybe not. Those are not the big marquee type of sellers. All right, so let's start with the LVMH group. So a big group, and watches, it's a very small part of the overall sales, revenues, and profits. And it's a lot of it is a bit of the pet project of the son of the billionaire owner of the group. But let's start with a bit more of the bread and butter, Tag, Hublot, and Zenith. So Zenith, yeah, it's a bit more of the niche enthusiast type of brand, but they do need a heavy selling model, and they kind of had that with the Chronomaster Sport. And I thought that the DeFi Classic looked good as well. They discontinued it to go for the Skyline. It's a bit bizarre. And this year, one of the novelty for Zenith is a Skyline skeleton, and Yeah, it's a bit of a luxury homage to the Royal Oak. And if I told you this model came out 2 years ago, you'd probably believe it. But this one is new, so not really something that's going to create much excitement on a grand scale, and certainly not interest the enthusiasts. Likewise, and much worse probably, is a sort of rainbow bezeled Chronomaster Sport. And I've tried to defend the Chronomaster Sport as much as I could from the accusations of being a ripoff of the Daytona. It's got a lot going for it, but this look is very much the trademark of Rolex. They do it much better. Here it is interrupted by 10 clear stones, I guess, because it has the tenth of a second complication. But then the blocks of colored stones don't have any fading. So it's like 3 or 4 blocks of orange, same orange, then pink, then all the other colors. That's not exactly what the quality rainbow look should be like. So they don't even do it well, and it's 110 plus thousand US dollar in white gold. Very jarring with the black dial and the three classic sub dials. I don't know who it is for. I don't know what they think. There's been a few changes in direction for Zenith. Some minor hits. They've increased prices. They've increased production. They've released a lot of models, and yeah, it's more of an enthusiast brand. And how many Zenith can an enthusiast purchase? And so I see the products on the shelves not selling. The boutiques completely empty. They're lucky to be part of a group, and we all wish well to Zenith. It's kind of funny to see the reaction to this horrid watch from the journalists who, they're not very independent anymore, apart from maybe a blog to watch and a couple of others who will speak their minds. It's kind of funny. So look out for those reactions to this watch. I'm free to say what I want. I like Zenith, but this is putting me off from the brand. That's the worst thing. It's putting off the enthusiasts when they see what the brand is doing. And yeah, how many watches from their past can they reissue before? I think that too has come a bit to an end. So yeah, a bit worrying for Zenith. Now Hublot does what Hublot does. Again, if I told you these watches had been released 2 years ago or 3 years ago, you'd probably believe me. No, these are new. It's kind of a luxury homage to Richard Mille and to, of course, the foundation of the brand, Hublot, is to be a homage, a luxury homage to the AP Royal Oak, changing things here and there, introducing different materials. And of course, they have to have a snake on one of the watches because it's the year of the snake. Starting now in here in Asia, in China, that's a bit heavy-handed all over. I guess Hublot has the attraction to the mainstream public, and that probably said they're doing okay, probably better than Zenith. Then you have Tag. So there's going to be a big year of a promotion for Tag and the coming few years because of the mega deal done with Formula One. I mean, Formula One comes up ahead with this compared to what they were getting from Rolex. And so Tag is replacing Rolex as one of the main sponsors of Formula One. It's going to be Tag everywhere. They were sponsoring Red Bull, and we've seen it on the wrist of Max Verstappen, and it's a kind of a look for these watches that is popular with, middle class America. Usually, moms and dads buy these for as their first good watch for their kids going into college, and yeah, probably also. One of the favorites for Dutch people, German people, that kind of classic watch look. Not something that the enthusiasts will very much lean on. We kind of like the reissues of Heuer, but it's the same thing, right? As Zenith, how many times can you reissue your old favorites, your old chronograph until people lose interest. You just change the color at one point of the dial, and that's about it. That too is running a bit out of steam. And then so the pet projects of the young billionaire is more towards the bringing back two brands, Gerald Genta, okay, and Daniel Roth brand, very expensive subscription piece. Is it as cool as getting one of the watches that were actually made when Daniel Roth was working at Daniel Roth? I think it's more cool to get one of the Breguet that he made when he went to Breguet. Is Breguet the same brand as it was when Daniel Roth was there? I don't think so. Yeah, it's going to be slow, low volume pet projects, and Daniel Roth had become a darling of the enthusiasts in the past few years. They were buying up all the old ones. So we'll see where this goes. I'm pretty indifferent to it myself, especially given the price point that is targeted here. Now the Louis Vuitton brand, I have nothing against fashion brands doing watches when they do it well. Hermes do very nice. The Arceau is beautiful. Not going to keep their value, and again, it's slow production, very artisan type of indie almost type of thing. Chanel, the Monsieur, the Superleggera is one of my dream watches. They're not going to sell many of them, so it's going to take a while before you can buy them at half price on the market. And so Louis Vuitton, La Fabrique du Temps, those are great watchmakers, are making indie type of watches. They have the rotating hours, some with a tourbillon type of watch coming up this year. Very expensive. So you have to be a big fan of the brand and really love watchmaking to get into that. So I'm not sure how wide the market can be for that. And I think Ludovic Balouard, an actual independent, does this concept better. So I'd rather buy that than the Louis Vuitton, which if you buy that retail, will totally collapse on the resale once you're a bit tired. Once you've played enough with your little rotating hours there. So yeah, okay. And I have another watch, rose gold, that's kind of a riff on the concept of Anderson Genève again. Do they do it better or worse? That type of aperture watch. I prefer Anderson Genève. And Sven Anderson is still at his brand, and he's a legend. So you're going head to head with some pretty good watchmaker there when you try to do this sort of concept. But yeah, at least it's something interesting. When you go to Louis Vuitton, you can check out some cool watches. Yeah, not so cool. Going to Ulysse Nardin. Yeah, they made a gray watch. Hopefully, not too many of them. I think 39 limited edition with an artist I've never heard of called Amoureux Peintre, and you cannot really see the movement from the front nor from the back. It's 33,000 euros. And I guess Ulysse Nardin is, I'm not sure they're gonna sell all of the all of the ones that they made, but don't worry, it doesn't cost them 30,000 euros to make this watch, and probably the Freak remains their most important watch. They're moving on a bit. Tudor, Tudor. We were talking about just changing dial color to create some sort of interest, and they've just introduced a flamingo blue or turquoise or whatever they call it dial for their fat chronograph after doing the pink version. And the sense of urgency he has created by making these only available in boutiques and create some kind of hype for resellers. Resellers, they need something, right? Because those poor guys, poor people who went into watch dealing as a new career because they saw some money making potential there. It's kind of all frizzled out of the Rolex market. Rolex has increased the retail prices, so anything precious metal now that's over. And yeah, resellers jump on these Tudors now, and eventually Tudor will release probably their own chronograph movement. It's already it's already a done deal pretty much. So yeah, okay, it's kind of cool. It's still a fairly big watch to wear, but I've seen a similar color from the Aquaterra line of Omega switching to the Swatch group, and I gotta say on the wrist, it's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I don't really have the heart to go back into an Aquaterra. What I would love to see some great maybe avenue to explore for Omega is a crossover between the Aquaterra, between this and all the good stuff that's about the Aquaterra, and the good stuff that we see on the Constellation, the integrated steel sport version of the Constellation is a bit dreary, it's a bit sad. So sprucing it up, mixing it with the Aquaterra, creating a super Aquaterra with the integrated bracelet, that could be really something new and a heavy seller for Omega. So yeah, maybe that would be something great. I don't think the Constellation is really uh, making people very excited. I doubt it's something that sells in mass, and there's going to be a lot of them at very big discounts. And the Aquaterra too is getting a bit. Yeah, a bit less exciting. When they announced the revamp, it took a long time to come to the shops, and then by the time it came, it kind of people had lost interest. But this one is very beautiful. I really like it a lot. It's a very nice dial, but yeah, I think they can do more. And staying with Swatch, Swatch is about volume, right? The Swatch, when it was created, saved the a lot of brands in Switzerland. It kind of saved the industry, and the Moon Swatch was a super success. The Scuba less so, but I did like the black one. I bought the black one and the yellow and the green. It was nice. But now people welcome these releases and a lot of releases in general with a lot of cynicism, a lot of sarcastic comments, and even a Swatch marketing team has kind of given up on making a big release. So they did a blue lagoon version of the Scuba, the Blancpain type of watch, and now they're making a pink version. And I was hoping this was sort of linked to maybe breast cancer research, that it was sort of some sort of charity, but it isn't. It's just a heavy saturation play on rose pink, on pink color in Photoshop, and it just looks disgusting. So please, guys, I know Saint Valentine is coming, but please don't buy that for your girlfriend. My God, this is there are other nicer things that you can buy for her. But if you have a big budget, yeah, maybe Richard Mille. I mentioned it earlier in the video. Maybe Richard Mille has something for you. RM 1602 extra flat or super flat. It's actually not that thin. It's very rectangular. Looks quite big there on the promo pictures on the wrist of those models. Very stylish. Maybe you need a lot of tattoos to pull that off. Looks like a very awkward watch to wear. But yeah, the budget for that in titanium is like $134,000, I believe, which is very affordable, very cheap, too cheap probably. So if you want something a bit more expensive, for 156K, they have made up a new type of material called quartz TPT terracotta. So there you go. That might be the Saint Valentine gift. Nobody is expecting. So yeah, Richard Mille doing what Richard Mille does, and it probably works. It probably works better than all the stuff that's geared towards more the middle class. It seems that the very rich, they will spend on those things, but the middle class has been gouged by the price increases. People have bought a lot of watches recently, and yeah, there's been so many releases that there's no more. I think that's the feeling that there's no urgency to any product. It has to be really, really good, like the White Dial Speedmaster. But even then, people just take their time before purchasing. So tough year for the market. We'll see what the Rolex comes up with. They don't really need to come up with much. It's going to be interesting to see what happens at the authorized dealers. Here in Hong Kong, they're still playing the game. I'm sure they have tons of precious metal models available now. The prices have been increased again to a ridiculous level. So already you can find the brand new models and the outgoing references of the equivalent at discounts to the retail, which means no dealer is going to want to take a risk buying these. No flipper is going to want these. So yeah, only people with big wallets will be able to afford that, and so there will be less watches on the market, and people will have to take a steep loss when they resell these. So I think we're going to see these watches in the windows eventually. The steel sports will be the most sought after, but at what point do people get tired of that look? They're all the Oyster Perpetual, so yeah, we'll see. All a bit on a downbeat. I want to be a beat about things, but in a way, everything is working in the favor of collectors. People take more time to buy, reflect more. Everybody wants to sell a few watches. Or market is very slow, so yeah, there's not much cash available to buy anything. So yeah, good time to enjoy your watches. And if you do have the money, you can make very good deals on the second-hand market for pretty much any brand, and half price on some perpetual unworn Patek calendars, for example, or their chronographs. Uh, yeah, very interesting year. Let me know what you think. Have you spotted some cool releases recently? And yeah, what do you think a brand like Zenith or Omega or Tudor should do next after having had some very strong years? Bye bye, guys.